Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke Beppu, and I'd like to take this opportunity to make a very quick impromptu video with respect to something that I made about the films that I think should be included in the Criterion Collection. I received a lot of really interesting comments lately from a lot of people about that particular video, and it's been quite overwhelming. You know, I'm kind of a nobody. I'm just a little guy on YouTube. I'm not that big of a presence, obviously, but you know, even so, from my point of view, you know, the response that I've been getting has actually been really well, really overwhelming in a very positive way. A lot of great people have been telling me about other films that I've neglected to point out. They've been disagreeing with what I say, which I think is fine, by the way. I'm perfectly fine with that. The more disagreement with me, the better I feel, because it challenges me and it makes me think, and it makes me think about my counter argument, or maybe changes my mind. So please, you guys, if you want to disagree with me about, you know, for example, I know let's see, Jiro Hong and Zyrother and some others, I think, make some really great points about how the Criterion Collection is really good about bringing films back from the dead, so to speak, or films that have hitherto not been given enough or any attention in terms of Blu-ray or DVD release history. So therefore, those films should be preferred over other films that have had a more healthy release history. So for instance, I mentioned films like maybe like The Exorcist or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, or, you know, films like that, which have already been released on really good Blu-rays or DVDs in the past. So therefore the question is, you know, why should Criterion focus on those films when it should focus more and, you know, devote its resources, its finite resources, to trying to resuscitate or revive films that have hitherto not been seen by the general public? And that is a fantastic point, an absolutely fantastic point. And I've tried to comment on that, my response to that in the comments, but let me just leave it at that, because I really want people who are watching this to think about that comment, those comments by Jiro and by Zyrother, and other people, which I think it's just so on the mark, and it's so, I mean, it really goes to the heart, really, of the beauty and the sort of the invaluable nature of the DVD and Blu-ray industry today. And of course, I know all of these issues are even more, I guess, pronounced and more addressed in sort of streaming services, which I think is wonderful. It's a wonderful time to be a cinephile, is it not? You know, because availability was certainly an issue, at least when I was growing up, you know, in the 80s, with VHS on the rise. But still, everything was very limited. It's certainly you know, much more expansive now than it was ever before. But that's still not enough, you know, as Jiro Hong and Zyrother very astutely point out. You know, we should focus on films that have not had a healthy release history in the past. So I completely agree with that point. But if you're interested in maybe my counter argument, please feel free to look at the comments below, or not this video, but in the films that in the video about the films that I think should be released in the Criterion Collection. So in that video, so thank you very much for that. Also, just really quickly, I wanted to respond to Comic Book Ninja. So Comic Book Ninja, you were making some great comments about many things, amongst which were some comments about Criterion Collection Laserdiscs, which is fantastic. You know me, I love to talk about Criterion Collection Laserdiscs so much. And also in that context, you were asking about Anthony Mann's Man of the West as it was released by Eureka Masters of Cinema. Now, I must apologize because as of this video, I have not yet done any video or made any comments, substantive comments anyway, about the Masters of Cinema. I have made a collection video, but that's just a collection video, you know. It's not talking about any of the films in substance. And I know a lot of people have been asking about specific titles. You know, I know Paul, for instance, was talking about Rogopog and other titles. And I really apologize for not addressing the Masters of Cinema, but I plan to. I promise. I plan to do so. But if I may, just to address Comic Book Ninja's question about the Man of the West, excuse me. So this is the Blu-ray. It's actually the dual format edition that was released by Eureka Masters of Cinema. So it's given the spine number 109, and it has the designation of MGM on the spine as well. And so I apologize for the poor quality of this video, by the way, but here are the two discs, the Blu-ray and the DVD, respectively. And the booklet, excuse me, is right here. And this booklet includes, amongst other things, an essay by Jean-Luc Godard, which was published in 1959, excuse me, Superman, excuse me. And here's another essay by the wonderful Robin Wood. I really like Robin Wood's work. I think he's really great. And this is first published in 1998, called Man of the Western. So this is really nice. This is a 44-page booklet in all. Oh, and also, there's also great notes on viewing about this as well. So let me just synthesize what it says. So it says, Man of the West was shot in the 2.35:1 aspect ratio. For widescreen systems screening this disc, the display mode should be toggled until the frame appears with its original dimensions intact, letterboxed, black bars bordering the top and the bottom of the image. So you know what this is saying, right? This is saying that it is recommended that in order to watch the film fully without any cropping, the black bars should be visible, right? So it actually gives you a screenshot example of that. So it says here, the incorrect way to watch it, the incorrect meaning in terms of the aspect ratio. These screenshots here show no black bars on the top and the bottom of the screen, whereas this screenshot here, which is indicated as being correct, indicates black bars at the top and at the bottom. This is a really, I think, invaluable note, especially for people who are wanting to experience the fullness of the screen. So it's a little bit technical, and maybe it doesn't need to be addressed by everyone who views it, but certainly people who are fans of this film should be aware of this, and I'm sure you're already aware of this issue. So I really appreciate that there is this note on the viewing that Masters of Cinema were so kind enough to include. And then just as far as the film itself is concerned, it's indicated as being a new 1080p transfer of the film on Blu-ray. Let's see, and then you have a new feature-length audio commentary with critics Glenn Kenny and Farran Smith-Neame, and new video interview with film scholar Douglas Pye, and you have original theatrical trailer. So that is the rundown of this in a very quick nutshell, as it were. So, and it is also rated 12. US, I'm sorry, BBFC, UK BBFC classification rating system 12. So, yes, so that is the Blu-ray of Man of the West as it was released by Masters of Cinema, and it's a fantastic film, and it's a fantastic presentation, in my opinion, by the way. I don't have any other releases of this film, so it's hard for me to give a comparison or a comparative analysis, but if you have any information about the copy that you have, Comic Book Ninja, maybe based on what I've said now, if you think that what I have to say, maybe, or if you think that your copy might be a little bit superior, then please let us know, and I'd be very happy to discuss that with you. I think this discussion about different versions that have been released of a particular title is really valuable, and it's one that I admit that I'm not always on top of my game, and I'm actually behind the curve a lot because I don't usually keep up with that news, and I don't have, I'm not usually one to collect from many labels because, amongst other things, I don't have it's hard for me to watch all of them and to buy them because of my own personal circumstances. But if you have any more information about this or any other films to Comic Book Ninja or to anyone else, please, I'd love to continue this conversation. Anyway, let me just leave it at that. I apologize very much for the quick, impromptu nature of this video. It's very rough, so I apologize if my thoughts weren't clear or fully processed in my mind. It's simply because it was a very rushed video, but I just wanted to send this quick visual reply. And then just to invite more comments from you about maybe more films that you think should be included in the Criterion Collection. Anyway, let me just leave it at that, and I'd like to say thank you very much and have a really great rest of your day, and I look forward to talking with all of you very soon. Cheers.